Hey guys, welcome back to DSM Diary. In last week's episode, we got to fire up the car. Pretty exciting. Super exciting. First time to see it or hear it crank up in about 4 years, maybe 3. So as we heard in the last video, it cranks, but it's still not quite right. I was so overwhelmed with excitement, I didn't quite notice that it really didn't sound the way it needed to sound, which is a perfectly tuned machine. So today we're going to take a look at that. A lot of people said it sounds like it's missing. Maybe it's not firing on all 4 cylinders. Sounds like it's probably firing on 3. So we're going to grab a laptop, open up DSM Link, and do some troubleshooting. It's extreme. All right. Let's get it cranked up, see how it sounds today. Wow, that was rough, huh? So we're idling at about 900, 950 RPM. We're going to shut off one injector at a time and see if we can hear a difference in how the motor sounds. We'll do that by going to ECM Link settings. Okay, so injector 1's not the problem. Let's go start this thing back up. Now we'll move on to injector 2. Oh, it's not injector 2 either. I keep saying injector, but what I really mean is cylinder. I don't know if it's an injector problem or a spark problem or something else. Let's kill injector 3 and see what happens. Nothing. No change. Injector 3 on. Injector 3 off. Okay, let's move on to 4 and see what happens. Okay, that's interesting. So it looks like injector 3 and 4 are not firing. I've got them both turned off and there's no change. Okay, so we found our problem. Cylinder 3 and 4 are both not firing. Now, it could be an injector issue. It could be a coil pack issue. It could be a couple of different things. If I remember correctly, 1 and 4 should fire at the same time. And 2 and 3 should fire at the same time. I may have gotten that confused. What this means is it's interesting that 1 and 2 would fire, but not 3 and 4 if it's a coil pack issue. It could be that I have the plugs switched in the wrong order. it could be a couple of different things. So let's dive in and see what we're working with and get this thing fixed up so that she's purring like the finely tuned machine that I built her to be. I mentioned in the last video that there are ways to test for spark on the spark plugs to make sure that plugs and wires are getting good connection and fired when they should. You cannot check timing that way, but it's always good to make sure that you have spark before digging into the rest of the system. I have a spark plug tester that I got from Harbor Freight for I think maybe $10. The way this works is you take the tool, take the spark plug boot off, and you just put it back in place of the spark plug wire. Okay, that's a good connection. And then you plug it into the boot as such. This is a little bit easier to do with two people, but I'm just one person. I need to figure out a way to orientate this so that I can see it through the dirty windshield while I'm trying to turn it over. I don't know if I'll win this battle today. Hopefully I do. Once that is in place, it's just a matter of going back to the ignition and giving it a turnover. I'm not sure if you could see the light on this, but I definitely saw sparks flying. So we're going to say that's good. And then we'll repeat this test for cylinder 3. Cylinder 3 lights up as well. So we are getting spark here. So off camera, I've already put the spark plug cables back in the original firing order that I had them in. I went ahead and jumped on the internet to look up the wire colors for injectors 3 and 4. And I have a strong sensation this is where the problem is. Some of this is kind of a gut feeling. Some of this is just because I've had so many wiring problems already. You know, it's highly likely that I've got something confused. Hey guys, it's now Wednesday. This was supposed to be a quick troubleshooting video in how to diagnose your ignition system. Well, that only works if your ignition system's actually the problem. I did a lot of great tests to help figure out where the problem was, but that also means that I found out that that's not where the problem was. Let's take a look. Originally, I believed that the ignition was just not firing on certain cylinders. What I eventually found was that we were running on cylinder 1 and 2 only. And I got these little testers called Woes testers. At least I believe that's how you say their name. Woes testers basically work the same way that your ignition tester would, your spark plug tester light. They plug into the injector the injector connector They have a light on the other side, and you watch for spark. So in my case, when I took this, I put it here like so, and fired the starter, I would get light on these two, but not on 2 and 3. Excuse me, not on 3 and 4. Using several resources online, I ended up having to draw a large chart. I mean, like kindergarten style large, to understand where my wiring was. This is the injector resistor connector. Looking into the connector, you see a little clip here. And then this is my connector, or a small part of it, on the ECU side. So that would be the wires that we're looking at right here. What I found was these were fine, but the other side was not. The other side was really, really, really confused. I can't explain how this happened, but long story short, I had wired this in such a way that the swapped ignition wiring diagram and the misconfigured wiring on the injectors was causing it to run on 1 and 2. Complete freak accident, should have never happened. Right now, the spark plugs are wired in their original OE pattern for a 7-volt. And I've gone through and checked these several times. Not only did I find everything was out of order, but on my last attempt off camera, I also found that 1 and 4 were still messed up. And basically, I had 2 grounds in this connector and 2 power supplies on the number 4 injector, causing it not to run like it should. So this thing has mocked me quite a bit, and what should have been a really short and simple video really turned into a disaster. Well guys, there's nothing left for me to do here except for enjoy the purr of the engine. I was hoping to be able to show you some of the additional modifications that I was doing or had planned, but we're all out of time. I'm already late posting this video. So with that being said, we're going to give her a crank, see how she sounds, and go from there.